Hey guys, what's up? Card Hacker here, and today I'm here with another Zodiac Time Beast deck profile. With the new support, the deck is very, very good. It's very, very solid. It's very, very consistent. So it's definitely one of the decks that are going to be you're going to see a lot running around in the top tables. So let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we're running Chronojet Z. This is the new starting Vanguard that Zodiac Time Beast got. And basically he just binds himself, and then you can search whenever you ride a grade 2. So it definitely combos with the Metal Party Dragon. Makes it not bad to ride as a Vanguard. So after that, you can also reuse it afterwards if you need to. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. Sometimes you just want to use it to ditch your grade 3s from your hand so you can have a 10k shield. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, we're running Chronojet Z for the starting Vanguard. Not going to explain too much about the effects because the deck, aside from new cards, it's going to be roughly the same. But I'll explain the ratios in which I run them and a bit about the roles of each card in the deck. So we're going to run 4 Chronojet Dragon Z. This is obviously the main card that you want to ride into. It's a very, very good card. This card pretty much lets you stride for free for the first skill, and then the second skill is it gives you advantage while it also controls your opponent's field. So it's like the best of both worlds, and it's only the cost of a Soul Blast 1. So definitely very, very good. We also run 1 Chronojet Dragon G. This is just mainly as a backup. We're running 5 Chronojet Dragon grade 3s just in case you don't draw into this. You have one more card to be your backup, and he's still not a bad card to to ride into, especially if you're playing a re-ride. It'll be fine because then you can just Soul Blast this for this card's stride effect, and the next turn you can bind this card to stride for him, to use your stride, to use his skill to stride for free. And yeah, it's all dandy and stuff, so it's not bad. Aside from that, we're also running 2 Replenish Cultils, just because it helps you countercharge if you have no cards in your Gambler's Zone face up. And it's also a 14k beater, so it'll be a 21k column if you have a 7k booster. So that's also very nice. And if you do draw into it, you can just discard it to stride for next turn, and then you can just put in the bind zone the turn after that to use Chronojet Dragon Z's effect. So there's that. There's also this card that you might want to run if you want. The Ox. I see some people run it in the top lists in Japan, but I personally don't really like it. It just gives you power for every face-up card in your G zone, and if you counterblast, it gives you the effect again. So it gets you pretty much get 2k for every face-up card in your G zone, which does stack up a lot. But especially with the new Chrono Visor Heritage, you're going to flip it back face down, so this card is not as good as before. So I'm planning to run the counter charge instead because this deck uses a lot of counter blast. Alright, so next we're running 3 Cruising Dragons. This card helps you get some combo pieces in your hand. We're only running 3 because you don't really need to run 4. And there's way too many good grade 2s in this deck, so I want to make space for some other stuff. And yeah, mainly he's here to grab your combo pieces and perfect guards and stuff you want to defend with the next turn. And next we're running 3 Slip Heat Pegasus. This is one of the cards that help you multi-attack. Not much to say about them. The thing is that these 2 are both 11k attackers if you have a Chronojet Vanguard, so it's very important to have. Oh, and they also only get the effects if you have a Chronojet Vanguard. But yeah, they are obviously very important. It's very important to have a Chronojet Dragon Vanguard and Chronojet Vanguard, and they both have different roles. I wanted to run 4/4, but there's another card that I wanted to run, and I'll explain a bit later. If you want to run 4/4, you can feel free to do so, but just keep in mind that they are very counterblast heavy, so you might not be able to use them at all late game if you have no more counterblast left. Same goes for the Metal Party Dragon. I'm running 4 of these just because this is your main multi-attack engine right now, since you do bind your grade 3s a lot, and your Mary Block Dragon is also a grade 1 or a grade 3, so you can call those out with this. But yeah, so his first effect is kind of a restrain. If you don't have any cards in your bind zone, then this card can't attack. So it's very important that if you do ride this, you quickly get rid of your Chronojet Z and search for a grade 3. Pretty sure that's why they made it when you ride grade 2. Not only can you prepare to ride for next turn, but it also lets you use your Metal Party Dragon. So having 4 of those. Being a 10k base is also very useful because you can prevent rush decks from rushing you. Let's move on to the grade 1s. Or no, not the grade 1s. I'm not done with grade 2s yet. Next we're running 2 Manish. Manish is one of my favorite attackers in this deck. When this card attacks, or if you have a Timeless Vanguard, it gets resist, so on a regular circle and a Guardian Circle. So it could prevent itself from getting retired by things like Denial Griffin and other stuff like that. But the second skill also gives herself a lot of power when she attacks, and you bind herself at the end of turn, so you don't step over it if you're planning to use the Phoenix to multi-attack. I actually want to bump this up to 3, but 2 has been working fine for me so far. You don't actually need her that often, but I don't know. I might take out some of these. Take out another Sleepy Pegasus for another Manish, just because we have Metal Party Dragon for the multi-attacks now. So it's definitely up in the air. But yeah, I don't know. Sleepy Pegasus has still been putting out a lot of work for me. So especially when you are not set up for your Metal Party Dragon plays yet, your Unicorn can do those early attacks to chip shield off your opponent's hand. And for grade 1s, we're running 4 Mary Block Dragon. This is one of the best grade 1s in this deck. There's a lot of really good cards in this deck, period. But yeah, if you have grade 3 or above Vanguard, then this card gets +2 grade in your drop zone and your deck. So it doesn't work in your hand, so you can't use it as Shrine Fodder, but that's okay. It serves its purpose. And the Generation Break 1 skill is he's pretty much a grade 1 version of Manish. So if you have this and Manish in the same column, you're going to swing for huge numbers, which is kind of the goal there. But even if it's not boosting Manish and boosting one of these, it still hits for a pretty decent amount. Alright, next we're running 4 Transit Dragons. This is just mainly to fuel your soul. It's very extreme. It's very useful early game when your soul is not set up yet. And later on, you can reuse your Mary Block Dragons. So you don't need to worry about not having enough great ones to use if all your Transit Dragons are in your soul. So. And not much else to say about that. It's just also helps you free yourself to not step over it if you want to do Phoenix plays. Basically, a lot of cards in this deck will get rid of itself, so you feel less bad about calling units out with Phoenix. And next we are running 2 of the Draco Kid Stride Fodders. running 2 because you do only really need it first or second stride if your grade 3s aren't in your binds, if you're not in your drop zone yet. Even then, you don't really need to use these that often. You might want to use this if you want to call early game and then search. If you already have this in your hand, you can just release your opponent and ditch it, and then you can ride this instead. Sometimes that might happen. But yeah, 2 of those are enough for me. You can bump it up to 3 if you want and take out a, I don't know, there's just too many good cards in this deck to take out. You might want to take out grade 2 for that, but it's up to you. And we're of course running 4 Perfect Guards. Pretty self-explanatory. For the triggers, we're running 4 Hypnotic Sheep. It's still a pretty good stand trigger. Running 8 crit and 4 heals. That's it for the main deck. Let's go to the G zone. So for the G zone, it's there's not too much variance from my previous G zone actually. So we're running 4 of the Avery Phoenix. So gives you multi-attacks, and then the GB3 it just gives your Zodiac time beast regards plus 2k, so it helps you hit it a little bit harder. I'm running 4 of these because if you don't have if you get field wiped by something like Shuanui or Kagero or something, this is a very fast way to set up your board. And if you bump into the right cards, you can just go off on your opponent. Especially if you don't have the right combo pieces in your hand. You can search top 5, right? So if you depends the chances of you getting either a Slippeed Unicorn or a Metal Party Dragon, get at least one of them is pretty high. So yeah, it's you know it's definitely really puts in a lot of work. And we're running 2 Chrono Dragon gear next. So it's different standard. I used to run 4 in my previous build, but I don't really need to run 4 anymore because we have Chronovisor next to give you a new turn, which is better than restanding. So yeah, I mean it's still a good card though if you somehow don't want to use Chronovisor or if you only have GB4 instead of having 4 face-up cards in your G-Zone, then this card might be the next best thing. And then if your opponent's still not dead yet for some reason, then you can just go into Chronovisor next turn. But usually my first try would be either the Phoenix or this card. Split Pegasus, yes, Split Pegasus. So this card is mainly to set up your board. It's if you have grade 2 if you have a grade 2 in your hand, you can just get rid of that to call in 2 transit dragons to get your pluses and your hand, and yeah. 2 the passive skill of giving plus 1k for what's in the G zone also kind of helps you hit numbers, but yeah, it really depends on your matchup, because there are some decks with 13k base out there, cough gallop, and I think there's the incoming core will also have a 13k base, so the extra 2k will come in handy if it's not already. And we're running 1 Chronovisor Heritage. Not much else to say about that. It gives you an extra turn. What more do you want, right? People have been complaining about him when the card was first released, and I can see why, but yeah, it's a good card. You only need 1 though. You're not going to need more than 1. Running 1 Dusk. Dusk is just here because he's Dusk. You might need him. You might use them, but most of the time, if you can win with, if you're gonna win, you could have either won with Heritage or Gear Next anyway. But Dusk, I don't know. I haven't really used Dusk in this deck. I've used him in my other decks, but I haven't used him in this particular deck. Mainly because Gear itself is a very strong deck already, so you don't really need Dusk. If you have him in your arsenal, just feel free to slash him in. If not, then feel free to run something else. It can be another G guard, or you can take out another one of my G guards to play a. Or you can take these two out for another set of Gear Next if you want. Or you can take out Seabreeze. I'm running a Seabreeze. For the G guards, I'm running one head around dragon. Running 2 of the Zodiac Time Beast G guards. And running 2 Ududus just to help you recycle your heals and your other useful grade 2 or 1s that you have discarded for some reason or gotten killed. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. Let me know if you guys want me to explain the effects like I usually do. I feel like that it just takes so much time, and I feel like just saying the things out of the top of my head is a bit more useful for you guys, because I'm just thinking about how I usually use it in the deck and why I'm running it and whatnot. But I usually do both, but some people might not like to sit around and listen to me read the effect, especially when I'm reading when I'm translating the Japanese from in my head back into English, which apparently pisses some people off, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Karataku, and I'll see you guys later.